So today, Laura Holden joins me, who is a women's footballer. Laura, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
No worries. So do you want to start us off then with your early days playing football? Whereabouts were you playing and what was it like?
So when I first initially started, I was playing with my twin brother in a boys' team. I think when I was younger, there was no real sort of women's setups really, or academies or anything like that. So I started off playing from a young age with my brother, and then grew up kind of my youth phases at Norwich Centre of Excellence. And then as soon as I was 17 and able to sort of fly the nest and explore somewhere else, I then moved to Bristol, experienced living away from home and all of those wonderful things. So yeah, throughout my youth, I was kind of in an academy football from the age of 10 really until I was maybe 21, 20-ish.
Well, I was going to ask you about moving away from home. So Bristol, you didn't live with your parents, you lived by yourself. What was that like to adjust away from your whole childhood place?
I think for me, I was very fortunate with the people that I was living there with. It was very much I was going from home to home. So I lived with a host family, if that's what you want to call it. But I was basically renting a room in someone's house. And it was very family orientated. I got along really well with the people that owned the property. So for me, it was a really good experience. But I know from previous, or speaking with previous players that I played with, if they've shared houses with other teammates and other stuff like that, it can be quite difficult and quite daunting, and sometimes you don't feel like you have your own alone time. But I think I was quite lucky with who I sort of come into the environment with, and they kind of just treated me like their own really, and it was really nice. So yeah, that definitely made my experience more bearable, I think.
And what was it like to be in Bristol's ranks at the time?
Yeah, it was tough. Like, it was different. I hadn't really explored any further than Norwich, to be honest. I was got a home bird when I was growing up. Didn't really, as kids, didn't really go anywhere sort of on holiday or anything like that. So I didn't really know anyone in this area in particular. So it took me a while to sort of make new friends and get out and see the area and things like that. But the footballing side of things was good. Like, it was a different challenge for me, and it was a different setup to what I was used to when I was a kid. And I think it definitely helped shape me into the footballer I am today, and it's definitely allowed me to learn a lot throughout the years that I was there. So yeah, I was happy I done it, and it was a good experience come the end. But now I'm in senior football, I think it's just a whole nother ball game.
But you were also a coach around this time, right? For a couple of different companies on a part-time basis. What was that like? Why did you want to get into coaching?
I initially started down at Bridgwater when I started playing senior football down there. So I sort of come away from the academy playing, and there was an opportunity with to coach in the academy and to coach in the community as well. And it was something that I took my degree in as well, and I was initially interested in it. Just to be able to stay in the game and sort of have a little bit of a different aspect to the game and have a little bit of a different look into what maybe the coaches see and sort of how they have to think about things rather than just being a player. It definitely helped me learn a lot about my own game and things like that. So it benefited me. But yeah, it was mainly through to get my degree and sort of kick things off with that really. Yeah.
Well, you were at Bridgwater and what seems to be like a childhood dream, you scored against Crystal Palace. Could you talk me through that and what were the feelings when you scored that goal?
Well, the morning of the game, actually, I was told we turned up, and I didn't know the team initially, and throughout that sort of the start of that season, I wasn't really playing as much as I'd like to, but I was sort of coming on as a sub and trying to make an impact. That's all I felt like I was sort of doing. But I didn't know the team initially. Obviously, it's a big game anyway. We were playing against a team that was a whole division above us, so there was a big hype around the game anyway. And the manager come up to me just before we were about to find the team, and he said that I was starting, and I was just a little bit like, I was just shocked. I didn't really know what to say. I was like, wow, okay. And he sort of told me sort of what he wanted me to do and everything like that. And I just straight away knew that I had a part to play. And I think I had to push the emotions and the excitement and things to one side and focus on what the job was. And ultimately, we executed that to how we had planned to set up in the game and to play the game. And I think I said it previously, but I know other people tell me different. I I was just the one that was in the right place at the right time, I think, to be able to score that goal. It was a goal that I probably took better than I was expecting. It fell onto my left foot, and it's my weaker foot, and I pulled the ball back across the goal, probably where they were least expecting it. So it wasn't the best goal I've scored, but it counts. And it got us in the next round of the cup. So.
I mean, if I was playing against Crystal Palace, I don't think I'd be able to get to bed. Like, what was the whole thoughts the night before? Could you sleep?
Not overly well, no. I always get really nervous before big games anyway. But yeah, knowing that it was Crystal Palace, we were going in as the underdog, so I didn't really feel any pressure on us at all to perform or anything. Like we had a game plan and we knew what we wanted to do. But pressure-wise, I didn't feel like there was any pressure on us. It was more on them to get a result against us, because the leagues and things like that, people would be seeing that as they are the favourites to win it. But yeah, as soon as that goal went in, it was just before half time. Like I think at the time we needed a little bit of a break to just sort of get over the emotion that we're 1-0 up, refocus again, and as a group just go again in the second half. And it was literally like just defend for our lives, because they were just coming at us, and it just did not stop. But yeah, it was nice because we were at home, all of our families were there, and it was just an overall really nice occasion. So yeah, I'm just glad it was good.
It's one of those things, though, that I suppose you were in the game at the right place at the right time, but also at the club, because this could have been like a once in a lifetime sort of cup experience, because you played Manchester United in the next round. Obviously, Ella Toone being one of the star players for them. What was it like to share a pitch with her?
Oh, it was incredible. It was probably, it was a dream come true for me. All from a little kid, you always dream about playing against the best players or playing at that standard. And I think playing at home in front of our home crowd with all of our families there, it was so overwhelming and such a dream come true. And yeah, I don't think anyone really knew who Bridgwater were until that moment. So it was a chance for us to get the club on the map. And just to bring in some more fans and sort of show what we're really about, because I didn't think in that game when we played Man United, although they had a lot of the ball and a lot of possession, I didn't feel like we overly played bad. Like the result was good against them. It could have been a lot worse. But yeah, we definitely gave it our all, and that's all that we could have done. So yeah.
And how do you think you, on a personal level, managed to match up against Women's Super League talent?
They're just different gravy, I think. It's completely different. Every time our team was just running past me, I was like, wow, like this is actually happening. I was just in the moment, I think, just sort of trying to take it all in, and you kind of forget about sort of not the job in hand, but you kind of think, wow, we've actually like got to this point, and it's just a big achievement in itself. Like we were saying before the game, no matter the result, like we're playing against like top team, and that's where we all want to aspire to be. So it's good that we can compare ourselves to that level and sort of see where we were at as a team, and I thought we done really well in that game, so we were all really proud at the end.
Cheltenham came up next, so after Bridgwater. How did you decide to leave there? Are they quite? I don't really know what Bridgwater is. Is that near Cheltenham?
No, Bridgwater's sort of like Taunton area, down by Bristol. Yeah, just below Bristol it is. Yeah, the Cheltenham move was a bit of a shock, to be honest. Bridgwater, we'd lost quite a few of our better players. Had moved on to different clubs in a higher league. And I think at the time it was difficult for me. I was coming out of uni. I was busy. I needed to get a full-time job because I wanted to be living alone. I wanted to take that next steps into getting my own place, and just things just sort of started to fade away for a little bit, and I felt like I just needed a new challenge. I think that's all it was. Like I just needed something new. I was sort of having the same day in, day out, and it was just getting a little bit boring for me. So I needed a new challenge. And then when I found out that Cheltenham had come in for me, at the time they'd just been promoted, so it was a whole new team. I didn't know anything about them. I didn't really know what to expect. Like we played them the start of pre-season. I was playing for Bridgwater, and we played Cheltenham, and it was a little bit of like a rivalry, because some of the girls, we knew some of the girls just from previous being at Bridgwater previously, so it was a bit like we want to beat them. But they were a good side, and and the manager was nice to me, and he said that he wanted me, and when you're wanted, that's as a player, that means everything. So at the time, I felt like it was right for me. I wanted a new challenge and something else to sort of dig my teeth into. So.
And you were balancing that on top of like a semi-professional enterprise elsewhere. So what were you doing to balance the books?
So I was working full time, just at Bristol, Essex Water. I was just doing admin stuff on the computer. It wasn't anything too special. It was just paying the bills and sort of it worked around football. Like I'd work throughout the day and then go training in the evening. Although it was long days throughout the week, like it, the balance was there and it worked for me at the time. So yeah, it was just an admin job.
And how do you think the time at Cheltenham went? I believe you made about 14 appearances. So what do you think that was like? Did you expect to play more or less? Or
No, I think I played in the majority of the games. Like I joined in January and I left to go up to Aberdeen when it was the end of the season. So yeah, I managed to sort of play in a lot of the games and I scored a few goals and stuff like that. So yeah, I felt like it went well. It was different to Bridgwater. It was slightly better. There was more competitiveness throughout the group. I sort of had to earn my place rather than just expect to play every week, which is what I wanted. I wanted that challenge, just to be able to strive on and sort of improve in my own ability. But yeah, so it was what I needed at the time, I think.
you then moved up to Scotland to join Clinton Lancaster at Aberdeen. I
Yeah.
presume he was the one that got in contact. How did that come about?
Well, initially, I'd sort of spoken to a mate that is Scottish, and I said like I need something else. Like Cheltenham wasn't quite doing it for me. I needed something that I could either move away from home or sort of explore somewhere new or go into a different league and completely play different players. Because when you're playing against the same teams, it just gets repetitive and you think you kind of know how the style that they play and things just become too predictable. I hadn't never been to Scotland and I thought it's a league that's got full-time teams in it. They're professional. The clubs pay players to play, and that was ultimately one of my dreams, was to be contracted and to get sort of money from it, and to be able to say that I get paid to play football. That's just one of the biggest statements that any footballer can sort of achieve. So I initially got in touch with a mate that is Scottish, and he knew a few of the managers that were already up in Scotland anyway. So we got in contact with them and said, "Look, I've got a player that's looking to move. Would you be interested?" Basically, and Clint come back and said that he wanted to have a look at me. So that week, I think he called me on the Tuesday, and the Thursday, I think I was getting a flight up to go and trial for Aberdeen. So it was quite fast, and it all happened really quickly. But straight away, he said that he really liked me and that he wanted to sign me. So yeah, that's how that come about.
How was the Scottish lifestyle? Did you enjoy your time in Scotland?
Yeah, I loved it. Like the lifestyle, living away from home, having my own place. Like it was what I wanted for such a long time. Just to be able to have my own place and sort of do my own things at my own time, go and explore different area of England and somewhere that I'd never been before, meet new people, learn a whole different accent. Like that's just in itself a challenge. But yeah, no, it was everything that I'd expected from it, and I was so glad I'd done it at that time. So yeah, it just didn't end the way that I wanted it to end.
Well, yeah, I mean, an ACL injury while you were there in Scotland in September of 2023. How did that actually come about?
Yeah, so it was a midweek game against Hibs we were playing, and the conditions weren't great. Like it was overcast. It wasn't raining, but there was a bit of like moisture in the air. It wasn't great. Um, but weird thing was I felt so good in the warm up. Like I was everything was just ticking that day, and it just felt like I thought I'm gonna have a really good game here. And then, so about 5 minutes into the game, I got pushed in my back. Like I was receiving the ball as a throw in, and one of their players sort of shoved me forward a little bit, and I felt something then in my knee, but it was just like it happened and it went. I didn't really feel anything after that. So I kind of brushed it off and just got on with it, but it was a bit painful, like sort of running and just trying to run it off. And I thought, no, like I'll keep going and just see how I get on. Like it might just be one of those things where I've just twinged something slightly, and I just need to warm up again. Do you know what I mean? So I carried on, and then sort of about 30 minutes in, they cleared the ball sort of in our direction. So we'd just counter-attacked. They'd cleared it in our direction, and I tried to bring the ball down with my left foot. So a ball that I would have never gone for ever, and I don't know why I went for it, but it was coming in my direction, and the initial instinct was I need to get this. So I put my left leg up, and then straight away, just my right knee just gave away from underneath me, and that's like split a second. I just knew I'd done something wrong. There was no contact on me or anything. I just turned to try and get the ball, and yeah, just my knee just collapsed. And I think when that happens and someone's rushing around you trying to get the physio on, you think, oh god, it must be bad. So yeah, that's how it happened, and yeah.
Well, I believe that you were saying that you shouldn't take walking for granted, which is quite a statement because obviously there are people that aren't able to walk, right? But I suppose when you are in that environment and all of a sudden you've gone from running to now not being able to walk at all, do you still stand by that? And it's actually quite a big deal to get by with that.
Yeah, massively. Like, before I had my operation, like I was able to walk. I was in a little bit of pain here and there, but I was able to walk. I was able to do most things. Just go to the toilet. Just the little things that people don't really think about. Like, okay, you think about going to the toilet, but you don't think, oh, I'm gonna get up now. I'm gonna walk 5 steps, go and open that door, go and sit on the toilet, stand back up again, like without any pain. Do you know what I mean? So as soon as I had the operation, I was in a brace for 6 weeks. I couldn't bend my knee or put any pressure on my knee when it was bent. I had crutches. Like every time I wanted to go to the toilet, I had to put my brace on, get my crutches, hobble over to the toilet, and it's just like there's so many things that I just couldn't do that I generally took for granted. Just not being able to walk, and that was as simple as that. Like I just could not believe how much freedom and things that it just took away from. Like I couldn't drive. I had to rely on everyone to take me places. I couldn't even use my phone while walking. Just something as little as that. I couldn't even get a cup of tea without, you know what I mean, because I couldn't carry the mug. So it was just everything just felt like was like, okay, we're back to square one. I need to learn how to get around this.
So I think on the pitch, your time in Scotland, you would have liked to have done more because obviously the ACL injury held you back for the 2 years that you spent there. Then you came back down to England, and now you're at Swindon Town. How did that come about? Was that quite immediate after you decided to leave Aberdeen?
Yeah, I think the time was coming at Aberdeen. Honestly, I would have liked to have stayed, but because the consideration with the new manager and stuff like that just didn't work out. So I'd always been in contact with the Swindon manager anyway. Like I knew him when I was at Cheltenham. I got along with him really well, and it was nice that he knew what sort of player I was before I had my injury. Now I'm not saying I'm back to where I was, but I'm near enough there, and it was just nice that he didn't really comment on my injury or how long I'd been out for, or we might need to have a look at you just to see where you're at. There was none of that. It was, I know what you're capable of, and for him to have that confidence in me right from the start when I didn't have that confidence in myself just spoke volumes for me. So yeah, I'm delighted to be at Swindon and got a good result yesterday, so started we mean to go on, I guess.
And what are you most looking forward to doing this season? Who is the biggest team you're going to be coming up against in the league?
I think our overall team sort of goals is to get promoted. I think we've definitely got a squad where it's achievable. We've got very, very good players in the team. But I think our biggest rivalries this year will probably be Bristol Rovers or Moneyfields. I think they've got quite a good squad as well. So yeah, I think it'll probably, well, depending on if the results go the way that we expect them to go, it'll probably be between the three of us. Yeah.
And in terms of where you guys are placed in the pyramids, because obviously I know the pyramids are still getting changed about quite frequently. So
Yeah, so it's tier 4. So you've got WSL. I think they've now called the championship WSL2. And then you've got tier 3 and tier 4. But tier 3, you've got obviously the Southern and Northern leagues, and then Tier 4 is exactly the same. So you've got Southern and Northern leagues as well. So yeah, Tier 4.
Well, look, Laura, I really appreciate you joining me. Last thing would be, come the end of the season, aside from promotion, where would you want to be on a personal level?
I think just enjoying the game again. Like I've gone for so long where I haven't had that satisfaction of playing with a smile on my face and just enjoying it and sort of being present in the moment. I think I took so many things for granted before I had my operation and before I done my ACL, and it's definitely taught me a lot about myself, in every aspect, really, mentally and physically. So I think now I'm at the age now where I just need to enjoy it, try not to put too much pressure on myself, although I probably will anyway, but I try not to. And yeah, just try and help the team as much as I can, and hopefully, if we can get promoted, I'll still be at Swindon next year.
Well, look, Laura, I really appreciate you joining me. Thank you very much.
No, thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.